Hello, hello, and welcome to Leviathan News. We have friend of the show and fellow Lobster DeFi dude here, who we are going to talk about his awesome platform that he just put out in a
So,
little bit. But
DeFi
welcome,
dude.
DeFi
Sorry,
dude.
Sam. You keep bringing up lobsters, and because I've asked you, I know what they are. But for those of us who haven't been around for a long time, would you also explain what lobsters are?
We haven't.
Oh, sorry, did you want me to jump in? Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, guys. DeFi dude here. So happy to expand on Lobsters. It started off as like a Telegram group, Lobster DAO. If you're not in it, big DeFi brain people, 20,000 some people, kind of spawned off into like a little gated NFT chat. And yeah, it's where I spend a lot of my time. Sam's in it, and just a lot of fun, friendly crypto people. We all just kind of hang out and talk about crypto and whatever's going on, and some other stuff. So just a fun community.
Yeah, and my understanding is like mostly it's entirely like a Telegram community, right?
Yep, almost entirely. Yeah, there's some like meetups and small things in this, but yeah, it's entirely.
Sorry, didn't mean to derail the conversation, but
No, it's fine.
It's a good resource for anyone who's interested in our kind of content. It's basically like an interactive version of this.
Sure. Yeah, I would say that for a long time, and even still now, like it's the only large group that has any like meaningful discussions in it, mainly because like the moderators in there, like Ivan and the rest, are bring the band hammer down really fast. And
it's cool that it's not like associated with like a DAO or a company or protocol. Like you can have neutral conversations in there.
Well, they have it. They did do an airdrop, right? So
yeah.
if and we're going to talk about airdrops today, obviously. But the way that they did the airdrop was they looked at how many your like chat history, so how many times you talked, how many times people replied to you, and came up with this whole method of distributing these worthless lobster NFTs and shrimps and langoustines out to everybody. And now they have this little token gated chat where you're definitely going to get rugged if you come in.
Yeah. Again, I am so sorry to derail us. Great resource, and obviously where many of the Leviathan crew hang out. So see you there. But
no, but I think it's important because like Lobsters was one of the bigger communities to do airdrops, right? And during that time period, the growth of the channel went just exponential. It crossed over. I believe is when we crossed over 10,000 that Ivan came up with the idea with the airdrop, and now probably less than a year later, it's sitting at 20,000. So definitely has probably exponentially driven growth. But not every project is that lucky. So like DeFi dude, maybe you can like lead us into the conversation about like what's some of the issues going on with Web3 marketing right now.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's a great opportunity to lead into it as well, just because I've been around in crypto for many years. Really got heavy during the ICO era and that kind of thing. So just kind of noticed over the years that it hasn't really changed too much. That the best ways for like a project to get marketing, it seems, is to launch a token or launch an airdrop, or rumor an airdrop, or have some kind of, like the whole Arbitrum thing. Rumors about it, or bring on influencers, whether that's you already are an influencer or you're spamming influencers every day. Hey, check out my project. Influencers get DMs 50 times a day. And I just think that it's a little crazy that seems like that's the best way for Web3 projects to get eyes on their projects. It seems, it's nothing against a token. We're in the crypto ecosystem, there's nothing wrong with tokens, but some projects just don't have the ability to launch a token. That's not the direction they want to go. And they might not have influencers. And so they can struggle to get eyes on their project. They don't know where to begin. And, so I think that's a big problem with Web3 marketing, and, something that we were hoping to tackle.
Well, another problem, and I just won't even get on the soapbox today about the dangers of tokens, right? But a problem with using tokens as marketing is that like the people that are inherently attracted to that type of marketing are probably not like the people that you want to be like involved and enthusiastic and like there for your protocol, because like they're there for the wrong reason.
Yep, I agree. And made many friends over the years who've launched tokens, good tokens, good projects, but it's almost like, yeah, that community is very focused on the token, and you just have to serve these token users or holders for the eternity of the project, which again, if you're launching a product or a token, okay, it's kind of implied that, yeah, you have to support this token. Obviously, you're not just release it for marketing only. But yeah, for a lot of projects, it doesn't make sense. And we've even seen projects where, from the beginning, they're like, we don't want a token, or they kind of realize it's not the best idea, but eventually they get pushed to it, whether it is for marketing or, funding or both, so yeah, we've seen that a lot as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always hit or miss though. I think discovery and just breaking through that initial hump of nobody knows what you're doing, right? You either have to have some really well connected friends who put out a couple of tweets for you, or you got to just kind of throw money at the wall over and over and over again until something sticks. And even that may not work.
Or just to put a finer point on it, Sam, I think kind of what you're saying is your choice are tokens as a marketing strategy, which is it is what it is. But then your other choice is essentially to I don't know, get on Twitter and bribe some Twitter whales. And the thing that you're pointing at is we have no options.
Yeah, I mean, there's some interesting platforms out there that allow you to essentially if you are going to have a token, you can essentially bribe people for actions. So you can get them to follow your Twitter or retweet you or do something else like that.
DeFi dude, what do you think about those kind of platforms?
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly what Sam was referring to, but I have seen something as well. Recently rebranded to Zeely, which is a really cool project. I love what they're doing, but it also allows projects to use it in kind of a bad way. And exactly like Sam said is, follow us on Twitter, you get maybe experience, and then retweet about us, more experience in this. And, I think it's great to incentivize your community in whatever way you can. But I also think that a lot of these types of projects that do this, it all comes back to kind of airdrop rumor. What happens if I keep building up this experience? What happens if I, level up in this crypto project community that has no token? And, not that that's wrong for the user to think that, because that's kind of the ecosystem we fostered is, eventually there will be a token. And if you help out or contribute, you'll get rewarded with it. So I have some comments about that, but I don't think it's, too terrible. I think it's all a matter of how you utilize those tools as well to grow your community. But I definitely think there's ways to go wrong with that.
Is this stuff Guild XYZ and stuff like that?
I think it works similar to that. I don't know if Guild, I know Guild has gated. I don't know if they also offer XP type of, achievement things as well. Not sure.
So what have we forgotten from the Web2 space?
Yeah, I think that Web2 is obviously there's the whole financial thing is lost. Web2, most people aren't exploring projects to hope for an airdrop or to invest or a token. It's more for the desire and love for just new software, new products, using cool stuff. And we saw this with Product Hunt. Product Hunt is an awesome website where you can show off what you've built. Web2, even Web3. And, so we think that's important, but we also did realize that Web2 and Web3, the communities don't really clash too well. We've seen a lot of controversy between them as well. Web2, whether it's the NFT community or art community hurting the environment, or just crypto scams, Ponzi's. So yeah, we also noticed that going from Web2 to Web3, there's not a lot of connections between the two communities. And what we kind of forgotten is just that we can have fun. We can enjoy products without wanting a token or without hoping that we get rich from it one day. It's the old meme. We're here for the tech. It's I think we kind of got to go back to that a little bit. Not that tokens aren't important, but.
Yeah, and I guess it's interesting about how you find social consensus about those things, because if you think about it any sort of cultural mimetic transfer. It'll happen through either social status or somebody shares it with you, somebody that you follow is and trust shares it out. So, building that level of trust does take some time. And especially at like for new companies where if they don't have some like superstar dev that's on there, you know, you could have issues, right?
I think like the flip side of the coin of what DeFi Dude is talking about on how like Web2, like you don't participate in experience products like with the end purpose being like somebody is going to pay me for this, which is like essentially the behavior we've all trained ourselves in Web3. But the other side of that coin is that in Web2, like using the protocol doesn't inherently put your own money at risk. You know, like the best example is like basically any lending protocol, right? It's like you, in order to use it, you have to put your own capital like in control of someone else, and then like hope they don't get hacked or make stupid decisions or like anything, right? And I just like the financialization aspect. I think it has like so seeped into our blood that like we're not aware of it, and like I think it definitely has like warped like almost everything.
Yeah, because you know, when you have such a powerful tool, you don't tend to not use it. And I think you know, the biggest difference between marketing and Web2 and with crypto, the fact that you can have a token. So 99% of the cases, you will automatically go to that newer option that you don't have on the other side.
Yeah, I agree, and I really don't want to come off as like anti-token here or anything. Obviously, I'm not. You know,
Okay,
in
I
crypto
am.
and love it.
I love tokens. I think they're
We
great.
we just realized that those who don't have a token, it can be much harder, you know,
Yeah,
to get eyes, to get marketing, and yeah. So we do want to make sure that they get equal amount of love as the projects that, you know, are airdropping and launching tokens.
Like a perfect example being like Leviathan News, or like let's say like DeFi Llama before the aggregator, like things that are just actually don't touch the chain. So like how would you issue a token, you know? And like you're totally right, that space is like completely underserved and we don't really have the tools that we need.
Exactly. And a lot of those projects too, like what you guys are doing is so important. Like all education or anything or news, anything super crucial for crypto, and not just like informational, I mean, projects as well. And that's where, you know, we realize they're equally as important, token or not. We need to make sure we can foster their growth, bring them into the ecosystem, not kind of put them into the shadows just because we can't get rich off of them, you know, quickly or whatever.
So if I'm a brand new company, like what am I usually doing from a marketing perspective, like right now? Like what like walk me through that.
Yeah. So assuming Web3, you know, obviously, there's all different ways, of course. You know, there's not one simple path. But what we see a lot, especially if we're assuming no influencers, no airdrop, no token, you know, very commonly start off like on Twitter, of course, where the spaces are. You see a lot of effort. You know, you see a lot of they're putting in all these great stuff, pushing out content. Very little interactions, very little anything. They usually stick to Twitter, in my experience, Twitter, Reddit, Lens, all these protocols. And, you know, it's just a matter of like slowly hoping someone eventually catches on. You know, you post on Lens, someone might find it, so that's great. Then you have one person, and, you know, it's just a very slow process in a world where like Twitter is 20 some years old, or I don't know how old. It's so hard. You know, you're screaming into this auditorium of millions of people, and you just showed up. So, you know, it can be very hard. So yeah, I would say like a lot of them, they'll just stick to just tweeting and hoping someone catches on. They might push out Twitter ads or some kind of ads because they don't have a voice anywhere else. They don't know what to do. So they're paying money now or reaching, or just like I said, spamming influencers, messaging people, posting in groups, which is all mostly okay. Not that there's anything wrong with like posting in groups and stuff and reaching out to people. That's great. But yeah, we just thought there needs to be some kind of way to bring on a massive amount of people or multiple people, not just one at a time and slow.
Yeah, it's funny, like what you're so I come from like consumer. I came from Anheuser-Busch, which, you know, is like sells Budweiser and Bud Light, and you know, like a huge thing that like companies like that talk about is like, how do we create something that's viral? And like that's essentially what we're talking about here, is just like, how do you generate virality? Like, and like the reality is, if like I couldn't do it with my $1 billion budget just for one brand, like how is you know, like DeFi Frog gonna like do it for whatever they're building? And so like, yeah, man, I'm like so on board with you that like hoping for virality is not a viable marketing strategy.
Yep, totally agree.
So what, like, the product that you're building, before we get to it, like, it draws a lot from Product Hunt, right? And so, like, before we get to what you're building, can you talk a little bit about, like, what you think, like, Product Hunt, I remember, was nothing, and then it took the world by storm. So can you talk a little bit about, like, what they did that's right, why it's, like, so powerful, and, like, what are, like, the key insights that you're trying to capture?
Sure. So my partner is a total like Product Hunt geek from the beginning. Me, a little less so. So I don't know like all the beginning history of Product Hunt.
Lore.
But one thing, yeah, a couple of things I do want to touch on though, is one, the positive feedback loop that I think really helps Product Hunt. So you have these projects or Web2 startups, whatever they may be, they go to Product Hunt because they want to share their product, and then they share it with their community. Their community comes in, upvotes their product or whatever it is, and then they can look at other projects. You know, everyone wants to discover new stuff, and so it kind of creates this positive feedback loop, of projects sharing their Product Hunt link. You know, users coming on, discovering what project or Product Hunt is, and then discovering other cool projects. You know, which in turn grows the users, which makes it more desirable for new startups and projects to go and submit their project. So we think that's a really great thing. And we think with Web3, it's just even more so because community in Web3 is like everything. You know, Web2 communities are not comparable in any way to Web2 communities, I think. Whether that has to do with the tokenization, financial stuff, I don't know. But yeah, so a lot more communities there. And we think what they really did right is just, giving these projects a place to spotlight what they're working on and to feel like people care, to get feedback, to, you know, not just be, there's nothing worse than releasing a project, sharing it, and just getting like one like from a random Twitter account that has, you know, no meaning. It's horrible. So yeah, we think that's really important. And what we think, at least touching on Product Hunt versus Builda, you know, as I touched on earlier, Web2 versus Web3 communities, they're sometimes hostile, but overall they're just not as compatible, where to the point where we think, a Web3 specific and focused platform was kind of the way to go. And I think
cool. All right, so tell us about your project.
Yeah, tell us about Builda.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, would love to. So we just launched last week, a little over a week ago. Anyone can go to the main website. We've got two different people, builders and advocates. So if you're a builder, chances are you're a developer or you work for a project. If you're an advocate, you might just love crypto, probably most of you. So you can go to our website. As you can see right up front, you've got different projects. You can kind of explore them, click on them, see, you know, their description, what they are. If you like it, you can upvote them, similar to Product Hunt. It's going to put them up on the rank. And each week there's new batches of projects. So every Monday it's going to be a new rank or a new batch. And kind of when that week's over, all the ranks are like solidified. So there's always going to be this archive of, you know, what was popular last week, what's popular this week. And we also think that's great because like one huge list of all randomly sorted projects is kind of useless. But when you can kind of rank them by popularity and see, you know, the top 3 this week, you know, it saves a lot of time, might keep you into the interesting stuff. And anyone can come submit a project, whether you're a builder or an advocate. If you really like a project, you can submit it to be spotlighted and upvote it. And this is kind of the basic features right now, you know, basic profiles, basic upvoting, sharing. We do have a lot of Web3 functionality and really fun stuff to explore in the future that I unfortunately can't really share too publicly yet. But we really do want to explore it and more Web3 features. So that'll be exciting. And we just wanted a way for projects to be able to let people discover what they're working on, and kind of alongside the thoughts of earlier, you know, without needing influencers or a token.
Yeah.
So.
It kind of reminds me of all kinds of websites during the NFT rush, where they had, I don't even remember their names, but you had all kinds of websites that you could discover new collections of NFTs, because you always want to know, like, when's the next mint, when's the next hot thing. So generally, I think it's quite a great idea. How are you guys planning to create revenue, can I ask?
Yeah, so we're going to explore more traditional ways. You know, we don't want to break the flow for our users. We don't want to try to make money off of anything that would make this experience for our users worse. So yeah, I don't have a concrete answer just yet. Obviously, more traditional methods are like advertisements or something of that sort, sponsors. But we do have other plans as well. Like for example, a newsletter covering each week the top few projects, which opens up sponsor options. And I'm saying sponsor and advertisements, but we do have other thoughts that I don't want to get into right now just because I don't want to say something. And it's but we do have plans, and all of the plans with the least harm, no harm to user. We want to do this in the most ethical way to make sure we can continue to foster a good ecosystem and at least support ourselves. So yeah, no perfect answer on that, but we're exploring them, and we'll be happy to.
Yeah, man, you're a startup. You're going after the Zuckerberg. It's the Zuckerberg book, right? Like, just build it, get as many people to use it. We'll figure it out later.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I think it's a good way, and definitely I think it's something. These kind of tools are great solutions for people who want to know about new stuff coming to the industry. So definitely a blessed move by you guys.
Yeah. So like the way to use this tool is like pretty clear to me on the I guess like token holder side, on the non-builder side, but on the builder side, so what I was saying, or whoever was just scrolling through for us, like what I noticed was that like Leviathan news was there, I think like 2 weeks ago, but it wasn't there for last week and it wasn't there for this week. So like, what is the behavior that you are hoping for out of builders when they use this site? Like, should we be submitting things every week? Like, what do you want to see from people?
Yeah, so I think it depends the current stage we're in. So like right now, it's going to be a little different than what we expect in maybe months from now. But right now, yeah, Leviathan news was on like last week's, so it's not able to be changed rank or anything this week. But there's nothing for like you guys to do. So right now, it is just submit, share, during the week. Hope that people can rank it up or vote if you want that. But eventually, yeah, we do have plans to like bring in kind of changes basically to allow this to be more of a builder platform than it is. So let's say Leviathan News comes out with some big change or update. We want the ability for Leviathan to display that on Builda. And, if it's say a launch or something that like a big change for Leviathan, we want them to list again or to launch again on Builda. Similar to Product Hunt, I think you can relaunch if something's big. So yeah, as a builder, it's just submit, share it in your community if you want that. If you want to try to, get up on the rank and do all that. And that's kind of it. No follow-up for now for the builders after that week. But of course, I think there's a big overlap of builders and also advocates, like people. I think all builders in the space are also trying to discover projects. As well. So
for sure. Well, if I might give you a suggestion that you definitely didn't ask for, I like what I really love about what we just saw that's different, at least from my experience of Product Hunt, is like this idea that you have like kind of like a weekly leaderboard and you're able to trace how things like track through it. But like just we'll pick on a big dog, right? Like Uniswap, let's say Uniswap v3, like that came out, and then like for weeks and weeks and months we were all talking about like the things we were going to build and the new primitives and that kind of stuff. But like, it was only one release, right? And I would just love to see this product be able to track that kind of like buzz and excitement week to week, even if it isn't like representing a new announcement.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you there. I'm glad you say that, because this is definitely something we want to explore, and are going to be seeing how we can make that kind of more of a reality as time goes on with Builda.
Very cool.
We agree.
Well, cool. Well, that's probably a good place to wrap up on. Defi Dude, thank you for coming on and sharing information about Builda and talking about Web3 marketing with us today.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much.
No, for sure. And we got to figure out how to do
how to get Leviathan higher.
Yeah, well, we got to do that. Yeah. All you people, all you listeners, you have a job to do. But we should figure out if there's like some sort of opportunity for like, like when you push a new project, like they get pushed to us to do an interview, or maybe vice versa or something. But if we're in the information space, right, and based on what you're telling us, like we all believe in like these important things about disclosures and being good actors, and so this is a crypto, it's positive sum, and like whatever we're building, like I always just believe like it's on all of us to look, how do we build together? So DeFi Dude, just like congratulations on launching a product and for like taking something that works so well in Web 2 and like giving it to us degens in Web 3. And just thank you, man, and good luck.
Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, really appreciate
Great
it.
initiative.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks. Take care. Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.